Hello and welcome to Smiling Souls. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray and Wendy Tadiucci. How you doing today, Wendy?
Hey. It's going to be 80 degrees today here.
Nice.
I know. So I'm very excited about that. Tomorrow's 50.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to do something like that around here too. But it's been nice the last few days, and the flowers are blooming. Our peach tree has so many flowers on it. It's insane. So that's our joy every morning, is to look at the things that are popping up.
Oh my gosh. Do you get peaches off the tree?
So it's only started fruiting the past 2 years, and it got like a fungusy thing or something the first year, and so all the peaches fell off. And then the next year it sort of did that, but we treated it at the beginning of the season with essential oils, and they started to grow and do the right things. And then halfway through growing, they started doing weird things. And we had also gotten a frost that year, so we were a little like, we don't know what we're doing when it comes to the peaches. We're just
you're learning.
We go with what nature wants, is kind of what it is 99% of the time. But they grew beautifully, and then they started to get kind of rank. So I took like 3 of them and just like cut the yucky parts off, and we ate the good parts, and they were the most amazing peaches ever. So yeah.
I am so excited for you for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. We're hoping that this year will be the year where we get lots of peaches, and that they actually, can be eaten and cooked and done things too.
So shall it be? And even better, beyond your wildest dreams.
We hope. Yeah. And so we've got, lovely things like that. It's been a weird day. Yesterday was a weird day. I ended up going to the hospital. It's not anything to worry about, but because basically I sat in the ER for 12 hours and wasn't important enough to be seen. So at midnight I went home.
You did not get seen?
Well, they took my blood, and then they just let me sit there because there were more important people. And I get the more important people, but seriously, for what was going on with me, they probably could have just taken me into a room and told me what was up, and then been like, this is what we think you should do. Instead, I waited 12 hours, and now I'm waiting for my doctor to call so that she can do that. So if I'm not quite on the ball today, that's why.
I had no idea.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all good.
You don't have to be on the ball today.
I know. I'm just telling you.
I don't have to be on the ball today. No one has to be on the ball today. We just are.
We'll be wonkadoodles. It'll be great. Maybe it'll be our best show ever.
So shall it be. So shall it be, girl. Oh, dang. Well, I'm sorry that's
I'll tell you more later, but
I know you will. But dang.
It's just frustrating. Okay. It's just one of those like
Yes.
And I was getting mad for all the people around me that were waiting just as long as me, because
I know you were, because that's I feel like when you go to the retreat when is it, with the plate throwing in June?
Oh, June. That's going to be what I'm taking out.
The hospital, the waiting room, and just like nail it.
Broken systems.
Oh my God. Broken systems. That's it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Whew, okay. So I had something that came up.
That'd be Mr.
Hello, Joe. I had something that came up yesterday, and I was like, oh gosh, this is kind of beautiful in a quiet, peaceful way. Mm-hmm. So women subscribe to my I guess newsletter, monthly monthly mailing, weekly mailing kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I got a response from someone that signed up. Now, if I can find it, the subject line, it's very simple. You don't have to earn rest, period. Read that again. That was the subject line. Mm-hmm. And it talks about how you don't have to go, and then reward yourself with rest. Anyway, so this email went out, and I got a response, and she just said, thank you. Mm-hmm. And it's big because she stopped, she paused, she felt that, and she responded.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
was
love
like,
that.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's so exciting for me.
Yay.
All right.
Should
we pull oracle cards or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so you're pulling for Tatiana, so why don't you go first?
Okay, so do mine first?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, got it. I pulled, this was so easy this morning. I got Protection Guardian. Nice. Drop your shields. And I found the description easily.
Immediately.
So I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason for this. Drop any shields of shame, resistance, and fear that are standing between you and your chances of enjoyment and fun. Know that you don't need to hide who you are or the gifts that you have. You were born to shine. The Protection Guardian is the feminine version of Archangel Michael. She's a fierce, protective, yet loving warrior angel who carries an indestructible shield of power and protection and will come to all who call on her. She will help you drop your fear-based shields and move into a loving, protective force field that will keep you safe but allow your gifts to shine out. Although she is here to guard you from lower energies, she's completely relaxed, serene, and confident because she trusts that love will always prevail.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very cool. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Mine was matcha.
Oh, okay. Matcha. Isn't that a drink?
Yeah, that's in it, though.
It's a what, Tatiana?
It's Matcha.
Yeah. So matcha was a fairy wife, and probably the it also says matcha, strength and endurance. Matcha was a fairy wife, probably the reflection of an old horse goddess who came to a farmer in Ulster, Ireland, and married him, bringing fertility to his fields and health to his crops and herds. Although she's forbidden him to tell anyone about her, the farmer nevertheless boasts to the king of Ulster that his wife could run faster than any of the royal horses. As a consequence, the king forced Matcha to race against his horses, even though she was pregnant with twins. She won and she died at the finish line after giving birth to 2 healthy boys. Before she died, she laid a curse upon the men of Ulster, and that they would be overcome by the weakness and pain of a woman in childbirth when their enemies approached them in battle, and it would remain so for 9 generations. Matcha prompts us to remember the strength of women and our capacity for endurance in the face of pain and hardship. But what we need on this heroine's journey of ours isn't just physical strength. We need inner strength that comes from knowing that our life is important and valuable, and that we possess the determination to carry on along our journey even when times get tough. Inner strength allows us to face difficult decisions without flinching, to take responsibility for ourselves and our own actions, and to understand that we're the authors and narrators of our own stories. Right? Yeah.
Like, I don't ever want to curse anyone. However,
the Irish women
while
are good
you're
at
dying
it.
Might be the time to do it.
It is the time, especially when
I think they had it coming.
They had it coming. Sorry, in my head I started singing from Chicago. They had it coming. Yeah, I think that was a very cool one.
Oh my!
I have to tell a weird side bit story.
Oh,
you know me and the fairies.
Stories.
I believe in the fairies all the time, and I think the fairies are always around causing some trouble and some goodness in our house. Mm-hmm. And Joe and I were walking around the yard the other day, and there's so much gardening that needs to be done. And he's working second shift, so he gets home at 1 a.m. and sleeps till maybe 10, and then gets ready and goes back to work. And so we're walking around, and I just go, It'd be really nice if like a garden fairy could just come and do the weeding for us and take care of things. I don't know if it's a garden fairy or a gnome, but if one of those Irish, creatures, magical creatures could come and assist us, that would be amazing. And he was like, yes, if you could call upon them and make them do the thing.
So did you?
I mean, I did, but they haven't come yet, so it's okay.
I love that, though. I love that. Oh.
Maybe they'll just make my gardens grow magically instead, and I have to do the weeding still. I don't know.
However it's going to work out, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And I hear birds.
That'd be my backyard, yes. Sorry.
I love Birdie.
I know you loved a bird.
I love Birdie. Okay. Sorry. Got distracted. So I'm going to pick, Tatiana, your card. I'm not going to pick. I'm going to shuffle and you tell me when to stop when it feels like, ooh, that's my card. Yeah?
Okay.
Here we go. Put this in view so you can actually see what I'm doing.
I feel it anyway. That one.
Bottom or top?
Top.
Ooh.
High Priest. Intend and create. Okay. High Priest. This is a cool card. I've gotten this a couple of times. High Priestess, who's the counterpart. So the High Priest is right here. Okay. Recognize that you have the power to change your life. Face your fear and align with the light. In many traditions, the High Priest is the physical embodiment of the divine masculine. He acts as a bridge between worlds and is able not only to divine the future, but help create it too. He may be a leader in his spiritual tradition or in pagan traditions, be second to the High Priestess. It's reverse order. But he is always spiritually connected and disciplined with great respect for his creator and his particular practice. In a reading, this card can represent a spiritual figure, leader, or teacher in your life or an aspect of your path that has led you to where you are today.
Interesting. Well, I told you before we started recording how I'm like in this are we moving moment. So there's just been a lot of a lot of messages about intentional creating and moving beyond fear because to stay where we are, it's like known, right? And to move, there are some knowns, but there's way more unknowns, and it's sometimes very terrifying to just step off the cliff and trust that there's going to be something under your feet. And to do it like I've done a lot of that in my life, but when I was younger, when it was just me and my husband, and now it's like we had the whole family, and doing that as a family unit, as I have a daughter going into high school and another one who's going to be starting first grade. And it's just like a whole different, and an elderly mother who's, 85 and has dementia. So it's like doing that with a whole family unit is very different than just doing it. I think that's like one of the myths of our culture is that like, I can just do this for myself. And it's like, I'm not here just living my own individual life. I mean, yes, I am at the end of the day, but we're interconnected, we're communal, and like that's not codependent. That's just like the reality of being human. We're not here to live in a silo, little vacuum of our own experience. So, yeah, that's what that makes me think of.
Oh wow! I love that for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so now I get to introduce our guest today. So we want to welcome very warmly to the Smiling Souls, Tatiana Berindei, with over, I got her, because I wrote it down, with over 20 years of experience learning from First Nations elders and traditional healers around the world. Tatiana Berindei has become a beacon of ancestral wisdom and holistic healing. She believes that returning the womb to its rightful place of honor. Okay, that's really interesting with the card that Stephanie read. Got it. Respect and reverence is essential to birthing the new world we all long for. Because of this, it is Tatiana's deepest desire for women and girls everywhere to know themselves as sacred and divine. As the author of Path to Puberty, the ultimate resource guide for moms and daughters, a coach, singer, teacher, and the founder of the herbal product company Voice of the Womb, she is a trusted voice in navigating the stages of womanhood with grace, humor, and wisdom. So welcome to Smiling Souls, Tatiana.
Thank you for having me.
Yay.
Yeah. It's our pleasure.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Tell us how you got into the work that you do. Like, how did you get into tribal medicine?
Yeah, I mean,
training?
That's like that story could be the whole show.
Okay.
But basically, the short answer, I guess, is it started with my own womb healing journey. I mean, there's kind of like two parallel paths running together. There's the womb healing path, and then there's the, sort of Red Road Indigenous spirituality path. And they dovetail each other, but they are also kind of two different things running side by side. So the womb healing was, when I was 14, 15, I was diagnosed with PCOS. I was put on birth control before I was sexually active. My body completely rebelled. And really, like, I needed mentoring. I needed to stop eating so much sugar, and I needed more exercise and sunlight and like community. I did not need to be put on pharmaceutical drugs. So that started my whole, I got into alternative healing before it was cool.
Right? You and me.
Back in the early aughts, before anyone knew who it was, and it was just like the hippie vegan cafe in the corner of campus, with the like few handful of people who were starting to do yoga. So yeah, it's been wild to actually watch like what's happened to that whole movement. Which now I'm like, wow, that's like a lot. And and then there's, the Red Road path, which has been really, I don't feel like that's a path that you can be like, I'm going to like go and do this. It finds you. And like I was in my first sweat lodge when I was 19 and had like oh, right, this is who I am, like remembering moment. And that path has been very windy and challenging at times, and totally fucking magical at other times. And I have had the great fortune to have teachers. So for whatever reason, like life has brought me into the center of a lot of different movements and organizations, as like a wing woman, as a supporter. And so I've gotten to meet just some like really incredible, really high caliber medicine people who like don't have websites and aren't out, who are like the real deal. And I feel so tremendously blessed and honored to have had not just one teacher like that, but like many teachers like that. And the older I get, the more I realize how rare and special and precious that is, and how that's like not a thing that happens for a lot of people. When I was younger, I was just like, oh, this is just like how it works, right? You just say you want to work with medicine people and then it happens. And now it's like, oh, nope, that's actually not most people's reality. So, yeah, because I was just going from ceremony to ceremony. I dropped out of college and went to ceremony. All of my colleagues were going on their career path and, getting their degrees. And I was just like, nope, ceremony. I just want to be by the fire. I just want to be with the elders. I just want to, I was like a sponge. I still am when I'm with my elders. So yeah, it's a continuing path. It's not one that's like, oh, okay, I'm done now and I'm going to go out and teach. It's like my elders are getting older and they're encouraging me to come out. I had 2 grandmothers in particular with their hands at my back writing the book. My one Nana Wilma, she is one of my teachers who's down in Guatemala, and you know, I was like checking in with her with the book, and I was like, did I say this right? Like, is this what you meant? Wanting to make sure. She's like, just publish it already. Like, just get it out there. You know, you need to be getting this information out there. So, yeah, that's starting to happen. And it's delicate, you know, as a white woman walking in these ways that are like not my lineage, but somehow my like spirit has found its way to this path and to these teachings and to these elders. And there's a lot that's wrapped up in there with then deciding and being called and asked to share that information. You know, it's like it's been an interesting little internal dance I've been doing around it. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, clearly it's meant to be, and you're meant to be there. So, you know, that's one of those things that if you've been called into those circles since you were so young, clearly, I mean, you might have more experience than some people who literally do have the blood, you know? So it's not about that. It's about your soul. You know?
It is. I mean, yes. And I've had, you know, medicine people who have said as much to me.
Yeah.
You know, that like, you know, I think there's just there's multiple realities playing out at simultaneously, you know, and so being sensitive to the multiple layers of reality, it's a dance. It's a dance
absolutely.
Well, I mean, that I'm getting better at.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like obviously you weren't like, I'm the white girl coming in here to share your secrets, you know, like you're respectful, and I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think that's part of why they're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Very cool.
And they probably feel that too. Feel your energy and know that your you know, your spirit is with them and that kind of thing. I am curious about many things, but so your book and puberty. There's a lot there. And what I'm drawn back to is, I don't know, when I was in elementary school, they took us to the gym and they showed us the growing up video and they gave us the booklet. I don't think yours is anything like that. So I'm curious, what is it about? Tell us more about it.
Well, my book is really for the moms, because, and my second edition, that's going to say for moms of daughters age 2 and up, because I really think that the reason why it's called Path to Puberty is because there are a lot of foundational steps that we need to be laying way earlier than we think we need to be laying them in order to build the kind of relationship with our daughters where we are viewed as not only a safe place to talk about hard things, but also a resource of valuable information, and one that is free flowing and readily available for them, especially in the age of like information overwhelm and the internet, where you can just go on and look up whatever you want. Like, it horrifies me to think about my daughter looking certain things up online because I don't have the relationship with her that she feels safe enough to ask me about them. And establishing and building that relationship starts really young. And establishing yourself as an authority in your household around that requires doing a lot of your own healing work around your relationship with your body. There's a lot of incredibly negative imprinting that we have received as women around that time of the month, around our womb in general, around womanhood in general. And there's a lot of correction that we can do, that we have the opportunity to do, if we want to take it. And so that the inspiration for the book, I mean, like I said, my own journey started with sort of a misunderstanding of what was happening for me around that time.
Right.
I knew when I got my first period, I was 12, and I knew something really special had happened, but that wasn't being reflected and mirrored back to me by my family and by the people around me. It was just like, oh, this is like, we're not going to talk about it. Like, here's the thing. And like, it's just this like, and I mean, privacy is great. It's not like you need to like wear a t-shirt that says I'm bleeding or whatever, you know.
Can you imagine if we did?
I mean, although we should.
You know, and different people have different ways that they want to be around that. And I think it really is a unique and individual journey in a lot of ways. And part of what I am wanting and trying to do with this book is to help shift the culture around it. Like I even have like, I think it's like 45% off if you get 5 books or more, because I want to be reading this in community. I want it to be a movement, because like I experienced with my own daughter, if you don't, we had moved to a Wisconsin, like a year or 2 before she started. And so I had not, and it was during the pandemic. So community gatherings were not really happening.
Right.
And so her peers were not, and like their families were not in the same vein as what we had, like for example, when we were living in New England, and we had like a group of people who were all, I remember when she was small and I had all these moms, and we would talk about like when our daughters came of age, you know, they're like 2, right? But we're like already planning for it.
Right.
That was not the situation here. And so, I mean, some of those aunties like came and traveled here to be with us, to celebrate her. And she didn't have peers going through it in the same way that she was going through it. And so it actually felt like confusing and isolating to have that kind of experience and not have it be integrated into the culture and the community around her. And of course, I was like writing the book as this was all happening. So it was perfect. I got to make all the mistakes and then write about them so that other people can learn from my mistakes. So I believe that, like I kind of, you know, spoke about right at the beginning when you pulled that card, like we can do our own individual work, but it has to be within the context of the community that we're around. And to believe, I think that's actually one of like the biggest and saddest issues with sort of like the personal spiritual development world, is this idea that we can just do our own work and then like our lives will be magical and amazing, as if we're not constantly interacting with other human beings and like we're part of a community on planet Earth. And we need to start acting like it. Like this whole, like the cult of individualism, I feel like has really bled into the spiritual and personal development world. And that's one of the greatest gifts that I have received working with all these different Indigenous elders and communities. It's like I've gotten to experience firsthand what rooted community, intergenerational community looks like. And so I'm trying to do whatever little bit I can in my own little pocket to encourage more of that.
That's awesome. I love that. I love the dedication to community. That's so important. It's more and more important as we get generations, as you were kind of alluded to before, of like being able to look anything up on the internet. And, you know, a lot of young kids would rather be looking at a screen than talking to their friends. And, you know, when you detox them and get them off screen, they're like, oh my God, life is so fun. But you have to actually have the wherewithal to do that and to get them there.
Or just not have them get addicted to screens in the first place.
Right.
That's
exactly.
why I really want moms to read this book when their kids are younger, because I think this is, again, like we really suffer in our culture from age stratification. I believe one of the biggest ills of our time is that we've separated our entire culture out into age ranges.
Right.
And so we have this false belief that like what I do now is just now, and it's not impacting later, or like I'll just deal with later.
Yeah.
Where it's like, actually, the way that your like nutrition and your health and the way that you're tended to when you first start menstruating is going to impact how your postpartum is when you have your first baby, and the way that you're tended to in your birth and your postpartum is going to impact your menopausal years as well. And so, like, actually, no, it's a continuum, and we do need to think long term. And the way I talk to my 3-year-old about her body is going to impact how she feels about her body when she starts her bleed, and is going to impact her sexual relationships with whoever she decides to be in sexual relationship as she gets to be sexually mature. Like it is all connected. And I think that's it's been really hard actually at stepping into the world of business in this realm, because it's like, oh, well, what's your niche? What are you going to talk? You're going to talk about puberty, you're going to talk about perimenopause and birth. It's like, it's all fucking related. It's all connected. And I feel so sad for us that we have so separated it out. Yeah. Because I agree. Because we are like, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you should be thinking about menopause. Yeah. You should be preparing for menopause because your menopause is going to be so much easier if you start now, until, or if you just wait until it's like, oh my God, what the hell is happening to me? Right. No, you might not have that experience if you start now.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and then I mean, I think it is interesting how many people, women in their like 40s, early 50s right now, you know, same as when we were in puberty, you know, like Wendy alluded to, it's like, here's this little thing. All right, that's all you need to know. Good luck, you know. And then you get into menopause, perimenopause, and it's like you're in the dark until you talk to your friends or something, because our parents didn't talk about it. You know, like.
And our culture doesn't talk about it. And it's so I love seeing that, like, people are talking about it now, right? And there's becoming more awareness about the fact that perimenopause is even a thing. Yeah. Right? Because it wasn't a thing. When I was growing up, perimenopause wasn't a word.
Yeah, they didn't use that word, No.
Going through the chain.
It was just you one day magically lose your period, and that's the next stage of life. Like magically.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Just in one day.
And like, there's a dissolution process that happens during that time, which, to be perfectly transparent, I'm not there yet. Like, I am in the like heading towards it, but I still bleed regularly every month, and things have changed, and I've started to notice that, you know, and what I have heard talking to those who have been through it, and because I have been listening for the last 10 plus years about what's coming, there is a complete dissolving and dissolution of identity too. That's actually really potent. And I've heard countless stories of women post-menopause who are like, this time of life is my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think we have this idea that like your life is going to end somehow, like because in our culture we've invisibilized women who are postmenopausal, right? As soon as you get the gray hair,
oh yeah, you no longer see them.
You no longer see them, or they're like not as valuable, which again is so sad. Like we are
right.
Like it's like us in whales that go through menopause.
Really?
Yeah, and so like
know that.
there have been people who've been exploring like what's actually the evolutionary purpose of menopause, right? Because
great question.
And so,
well, aren't the whale mothers or grandmothers like the leader of the
bingo, yes. So it's because when we hold our wise blood inside of us at that point, we have attained a certain level of life experience and wisdom that we then get to turn around and share with our community and like guide the culture. That's the purpose of menopause.
Wow. Yep.
The purpose of menopause is to create elders, female elders, who can lead and guide the community.
Ooh.
That's the whole point. So instead of dreading it, like, hey, let's prepare. Like, I feel like I've been a grandma in training since I was 25.
I love that.
Right?
Yep.
A gift. Yes. I'm a gift.
Yep. That's awesome.
Wow.
I'm a grandma in training. That's what I consider myself to be. And when we're raising our children, we are creating adults. We're in the practice of growing adults.
Yeah, really.
That's what we're doing. And so how we are with them when they're small matters a lot.
It does.
And it builds the foundation for adulthood.
So in your book, do you talk about perimenopause and menopause?
I do. I do, because a lot of women who are, I don't talk about menopause so much, but a lot of women who are in that stage are going to be going through perimenopause and or menopause while their daughters are going through puberty.
Right.
Which talk about a shit show under one roof is like, I mean,
indeed. Oh God.
And or the opportunity for like something powerful and amazing.
Right.
To go through together. It's all about how you frame it and how you orient towards it. Right? And when you are armed with a certain amount of information, instead of being like, I had this experience a couple months ago, my daughter was being an absolute beast. She was being horrible to everybody around her. I swear to God, she was about to beat up her sister, and she's studying to be a black belt in karate. So I was like, separating you. And instead of like, I could have just gotten really mad at her, been like, what's wrong with you? What's weird? Like, but I knew that she was on the first day of her period. So I sent her downstairs, not as a punishment, but because space needed to be had.
Right.
I made her a beautiful herbal tea. I brought her some like delicious, healthy snacks, some berries. I laid it all out on a tray. I made it beautiful.
Oh, wow.
If there had been flowers in season, I would have put flowers there. And I brought it down to her with so much love and honoring, because she did not need to be punished in that moment. She needed what we all need when we're bleeding and we're feeling like we want to rip someone's head off. We need space to ourselves. We need beauty. We need nourishment, and we need supportive other women around us. And so I got to give that to her because I know what I know and I'm anchored in it. And give her a tea with herbs from my garden that are going to like help her womb health, right? Like that's a possibility. That's an option. And then I made some for myself too, because I'm in the other side of things, you know?
Yeah. That's, the world needs more of that. Instead of punishing, here, let's love you up, and here's some beautiful food and some tea and flowers and
you know what, after she was like watching a show, whatever, like had her moment to herself,
right?
And she came up for dinner and she would like, her whole energetic had changed. She was calm. She was centered in herself. She apologized to her sister unprompted for her behavior. And she like helped clear the table without being asked. You know, like that's what's possible.
Yes.
But we have to lay the foundation for that. That didn't just happen because of that one moment where I brought her tea.
Yeah.
I've been building that intentionally for years.
Wow. Since age 2, you said the book is 2 and up?
Yeah. I mean, you can do it from birth.
Yeah.
But that's like minimum, because they're going to start touching themselves. They're going to start asking questions about their bodies.
Right.
And you need to be comfortable enough in your body to be answering from a place that's not transferring shame onto her.
Yeah.
And so there's practices
100%.
in the book. There's like, and that's why doing it in a group is so important too, because, okay, you might do that, but then if your friend comes over and hasn't done that work.
Right. Confusing.
Confusing.
For your kid.
Right? I mean, also an opportunity for conversation too, because there's going to be contrast in the world. We can't control everything, right?
It's very cool. I love that.
Obviously, I'm passionate about this topic. I could talk about it for a long time.
I love that. And what you said about, you know, when you're out of, when you finish your bleed and you're fully into menopause, and you talked about you're now the one carrying on and showing the younger generation, like leading them through. And you also mentioned the thing that when our hair gets gray and we get old, we're not seen. I had a shift on that. I actually see it as a superpower as I get older, that my hair is gray and I'm seen as an old lady. And this came about, we watched Matlock, not the old Andy Griffith, but the new with Kathy Bates. And she is a freaking genius, and she's not seen. She knows she's not seen, because she's like, I'm a little old lady, but they don't know what I'm capable of. And that's how she gets the dirt and the intel. And so I'm like, I want to be like that. Okay, fine. You don't see me? Buckle up, bitch.
Well, if you look at like what happened in Minneapolis over the winter, right? Like the ones who were leading the charge of change and caretaking of the community were all the gray-haired in menopause.
Yes.
That's who was like, fuck this, we're doing something different.
Yep, exactly.
So that's what's possible for I'm so excited for that stage.
Right.
And I really am like all about promoting, getting excited about that stage, because I feel like I was raised with an absolute dread of that stage. Like your life is over at that point. Because your value is completely based on your sexual worth.
Oof.
And you're like, that's how we're valued in society, right?
Yeah,
I think
unfortunately.
I want to say that's changing, and I don't know that that's changing.
Right, exactly. It's interesting. I'm listening to this, and it makes me realize, like, so my grandmother, little adorable lily white lady, born in 1910, you know, you'd expect, and she was very like put together all the time and everything, but at the same time, I think we all realized she was a bit of a rebel in her own right. You know, like she was one of the first women to graduate from college. Nice. She graduated from BU in like 1936, I think. She was a teacher. She married late in life for back then. She didn't get married till 30 something.
Oh.
We all wonder why she married my grandfather, but that's another story. And he didn't want her to have a driver's license when she was young. What? He had some weirdness. Like, he was very nervous. Like, when my mother got her driver's license, he actually was so nervous. He went with her for the test. He was so nervous. He slammed his own hand in the door and then had to pretend like nothing happened because he didn't want people to know how nervous he was. Like, kind of hilarious. But he was very nervous about Michelle driving, my mother driving, but he didn't want my grandmother to drive. And so when my grandmother retired from teaching, that's when she was like, and so grandma age, she was like, fuck this shit. And she got her driver's license and got herself, I don't know what kind of car it was, but it was very cool. It was a bright red car with a black top, 1970 something. And no, but it was very cool. And kind of looked like a Mustang, but it wasn't a Mustang. And oh my god! And like I remember all these pictures of her like proudly standing in her little day suit to take us to lunch or something by her car, you know. And it's like,
I want to see those pictures.
I gotta find some.
Okay,
but like,
oh my god,
you know, I knew she was an independent lady and that she definitely did her things, but it's just interesting to think about that because, you know, then we had parents who got married at 20 something, you know. My parents got married as soon as they got out of college. They had Michelle immediately. They had Michael right after. They, you know, and so then when we came of age, all three of us were like, married at 20 something? Are you kidding me? You know, none of us, you know, we all waited to a degree. And I was like, well, I always was like, I'm taking grandma's lead on this one. We're not even thinking about settling down until 30 something. And it's just really interesting to think of how like she was not conservative, but she fit into the norm of what society expected of a woman, but at the same time didn't. And then was like, oh, I'm going to do things my way, you know? So it's kind of a great influence to have in your life. And
really,
yeah. Well, because I think as women get older too, like we just care less what other people think about us. Like as soon as I turned 40, I was like, oh, my friend calls it the fuck it 40s. Because it's just like, oh yeah, I really don't have the energy to care anymore about what you think about me.
Yes, 100%.
I'm fresh out of fucks.
Fresh out of fucks. I think it's so important and so refreshing. And it's, you know, like I see my daughter who's 14 and she's just so consumed with like, like how people are perceiving her, you know, and it's just like, whatever I can do to help ease that for you, because that is like, I think it's such a prison.
It is.
It's absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Grandmas. My was she? No, she did not take any shit from my grandma. I will tell you what.
Don't take shit from them. Yeah.
Well, the funniest story. So they built a house next door to their like family homestead. Oh gosh, they were probably in their 70s, and so they went back and I've heard this story many times. They went back and forth on attach the garage, have a detached garage, blah 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 blah. Grandma didn't like mice. I get that. So she felt like if the garage was attached, mice would get in and get into the house. So now Grandpa won that battle. The garage and the house were connected. They moved into the house. Grandpa went to the store. Grandma cocked the garage door shut while he was gone. And she was like, I told you I'd won a garage. So she won that battle.
Whoa. That's...
Yeah. Wow. I know. I'm just like,
wow. Now I know where you get your spiciness from.
I mean, just like... Anyway, so both of our grandmas just did not take shit.
No.
Love it.
Funny.
Oh, let's see. What else, Steph? I'm looking. How have we talked for this long and it doesn't seem like this long?
I know. It's impossible. It's because we have a great guest with great stories.
And I think we need to invite her back.
I know. Thank you. Yeah.
We haven't even talked about sex. I mean, hey.
We definitely need to have you back. What's that song from the 90s? Let's talk about
sex, baby.
Yeah. What was that?
Salt and pepper.
There you go.
I really wanted that to be the intro song. I was telling Wendy, I used to have a podcast called Sex, Love, and Superpowers, and I really wanted that to be like the intro song for my podcast.
Yep.
You know, copyrights and all the rest.
Well, we have a few minutes. Do you want to talk about sex?
I mean, we could.
Go for it. Tell us what you want us to know.
Like, wait a minute, I got to shift
a little bit more of a lead in than that.
No, we just got done talking about grandmothers, and now she's like,
let's talk about sex. Hey,
I will tell you, when we moved my mom into her independent living place, the woman who was like the lifestyle coordinator or whatever, she started telling me about how like rampant STDs had become in the place.
I knew that was gonna, because that's a thing.
Yeah, and how like there was this one woman who had dementia, so she would forget who she had sex with, and like this one guy who was like her boyfriend would get offended. Anyway,
that is hilarious.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's
trauma of the old peeps.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
I would not want to have to run a nursing home or
right, going into someone's room is a
right, because everyone is like, well, we can't get pregnant anymore,
right?
So,
no, but you can get
STDs are still a thing.
Yeah,
and they're like, we don't care.
I know, right?
They really don't. But can you imagine being a child, getting a phone call? Please, God, make this never happen to me, because I will die and faint. But can you imagine your mom? Anyway,
that's not where I thought this conversation was going to go.
Me either.
Hey, these are the things that happen on Smiling Souls. You never know. You never know where the journey's going to end up.
Yeah. You realize you're going to be the second call if that ever happens to me, Steph, and I'm just going, oh my God.
Yes.
Anyway.
Too funny.
Morning.
All right. Since we're not talking about it, we'll talk about it another time.
We'll have you back.
Yes.
Have you back.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
it's a whole on thing.
It is. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
We'll have you back for sure, because that seems like it'll be a great conversation. Where can people find your book?
Yes, and find you.
Yeah.
So my website is my name, Tatiana Berindei, TatianaBerindei. It's kind of a mouthful. .com. Or they can go to pathtopuberty.com, and that will just take them right to the book page on the website.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and I have a whole store there. If you sign up for my email list, there's like a 10% off on all the products, which includes the book. Yeah, anything that's happening, like I run workshops and events and things like this, and that's all that information will be there, and if they're on my list, then they would get updates as that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
I do too.
Very cool. Excellent. And thank you again for being our guest.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been a blast.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you next time.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.